guys, good morning. Rob again. And this morning I want to talk to you guys about some useful tips for people who have MS and other chronic illnesses too, but more specifically for the people who have MS. So outside of the ones that everybody knows, which is take your vitamins, your vitamin D especially, for your bone health, getting at least 8 hours sleep, exercise, and having a good diet. Like, that's something that most of us know, right? Most of us that have chronic illness, or more specifically people with MS, right? So we know those 4 major things that we should do, right? So today I want to talk about some other useful stuff outside of the ones that we already know, and maybe it might be some that we don't usually think about, right? So the first one I want to talk about, and bear in mind, this is in no specific order. This is just me telling you as it comes to my mind, right? So the number one thing that all my neighbors are out. The number one thing that I want to talk about, and like I said, it's in no specific order, is furniture walking, or creating an atmosphere in your house that makes it easier for you to walk around without like bumping and chipping into stuff. So you want to adjust your furniture in a way where you have somewhat of a clear path to walking around, and you're not going to be tripping or bouncing into anything that could cause a fall, right? So that's one of the things I'd recommend. So adjusting your furniture accordingly to your, I guess you'd say, walk pattern. So that's the first thing I want to mention. All right, the second suggestion that I have, these are all suggestions. I do most of it. I don't necessarily do all of it, but I do most of it. So the second suggestion that I have is get, if you can, whatever tools that will make your life easier, no matter how simple it is. It could be getting a special nail clip that makes it easier for you to cut your nails, especially if you have like shaky hands, right? So that's a tool that would make life easier for you. Another tool would be like on my website I have it's called a bath rail, right? A bath rail. And what that does is it helps you to get in and out of the shower, by having something to hold on to. It like clamps onto the side of your bath. And when you're in the bath, if for any reason you're losing your balance or whatever, it also helps to stabilize you. So, that's called a bath rail. And like I said, you could check it out on my website if you like. But what that does, it helps you with your independence, right? So you're not relying on people for everything, and you're not like falling all over the place and stuff like that, right? Because a typical problem with people with chronic illness, or like I said, more specifically MS, is balance, right? So you have trouble trying to get your bearing, especially if you're doing like multiple things. So suggestion is get whatever tools, no matter how simple they might appear to be, get whatever tools that would help you to deal with your circumstance. Like, don't be too cool. Don't be like, oh, because I used to be that way, where you don't want people to see you using certain things, but you got to get rid of that mentality and do what works for you. Do what's best for you, right? What's going to keep you safe. The third thing that I would suggest is that you keep abreast of all the new medications that's out there, right? Because sometimes it's not that your doctor might mean bad for you, but sometimes if whatever you're using now is not working, it's your body, right? So you know your body best, and you know what's working and what's not working. So sometimes you have to, I don't want to say force it, but you have to let your doctor know that this is not working, and based on your research, you feel like this particular whatever, drug, whatever, would be more effective for you. So that's the third thing I'd suggest. So keep in touch with, or keep on top of what is out there and what you feel. Because at the end of the day, we're all guinea pigs, right? Because a lot of these doctors, they don't know exactly what works. So it's more like a situation where, all right, try this, it might work. Try that, it might work. But at the end of the day, you're the person, it's your body, and you know what's working and what's not working. So I would say try to keep on top of what's out there, what's new, what's effective, what other people are saying. So you YouTube, you Google, and you see what other people who may have the same situation or the same problem as you, and see what they're saying, and then you do your research on top of that to see if it will work or if it's a better option for you, especially if whatever you're doing now is not working. So that's my third suggestion. My fourth suggestion is, it might not be an issue that we all have, but I'm sure a lot of us do. So my fourth suggestion would be, wherever you're going, whether you're going to the mall, your restaurant, whatever, make sure you know where the bathrooms are. Because the last thing you need is to really feel like you need to pee or whatever, and you don't know where to go. Or where you have to go is so far away from where you are that it becomes an issue for you. And we already know that most of us, we're not fast. We're not people that could run to wherever. So make sure you know where the bathrooms are. And right behind that, my number 5 or 6 or wherever I am, would be to wear appropriate clothing that will make it easier for you to use the bathroom in an emergency. What I mean by that, if I'm talking about like the women, you don't want to have on you don't want to have on many layers, so that if in the event that you need to use the bathroom, pee or whatever in a hurry, now you're trying to take off all this stuff to do it, because that's a recipe for an accident, right? And the same thing goes for the males. All right, so you want to wear clothing that would make it easier for you in a pinch, in a hurry, to use the bag. You don't want to have on a multiple amount of stuff just so you could look cool, right? You wanna wear stuff that's practical, stuff that will make it easier for you to get to or do whatever you got to do in a pinch. So that would be my next suggestion. You always want to pre-plan, just like I did a video one time about safety, right? So you always want to pre-plan. So have a route, have some sort of thought process where, in the event, or if, or should I, and this goes for anybody, but more specifically to people who have chronic illnesses or you have MS, whatever your situation, pre-plan, know where or what you're going to do in a pinch, right? That makes all the difference. The next thing is, which is a problem I used to deal with, which I still have a slight touch of it, but I'm almost all the way gone with it, is don't worry about looking super cool. Because, a lot of us, we like to look cool and look like we have it together, and, we don't have any issues. Which, unfortunately, for most of us, even if it's not health, even if you have like some sort of other issue, whether it's relationship, whatever, right? We have to work on, because it's a process, right? It's not something, especially if you developed the craft over years, it's not something that you just but you have to work on trying to not worry about looking super cool. You have to worry about your health, your safety, and what's best for you. That's what you have to, that's the priority right there. Because at the end of the day, this might sound brash, but at the end of the day, nobody really cares about you. Everybody's caring about themselves, right? So that guy or that girl that you're going to see on the street, on the mall or whatever, once that 5 seconds has passed, they don't even remember you, right? So don't get caught up in trying to have a certain appearance or trying to look cool. Just like for some of us that maybe we use a cane, maybe we use a walker, maybe we use a wheelchair. Most people don't care. After you're out of sight, you're out of mind, right? So don't worry about looking cool. I still have that issue, not as much as I used to, but I'm pretty close to not worrying about what people think. Even my kids. I used to worry about what my kids would think, because my kids knew me when I was strong, and now they're looking at their dad, and he's not the same. So I used to but I've slowly figured out that, not that they don't care, but they would much rather you be safe and healthy than worrying about how you're going to look. How am I going to look at this? How am I going to look? Don't worry about that. Just do what you have to do to keep yourself in one piece. Okay, so this next one, which I'm going to wrap up now, but this next one is something that we should all kind of know. I mean, your mind should, if you have certain illnesses, you have to give up nicotine. So all that nicotine, smoking and chewing and whatever, you have to give it up. I mean, it's for your health. Unless you don't care about your health. And even if you don't care about your health, care about the people that care about you. And if you have to stop smoking cigarettes or whatever in order to strengthen or better yourself, you got to stop doing it. So that's the next thing that you want to start. It's not easy. I've never smoked. I'm not a smoker or I'm not a drinker, but if that's what I had to do in order to make myself more healthy and be around for the people that love me, that's what I would do. So if you have to stop smoking, stop smoking. I'm not saying it's going to be overnight, but make the necessary steps, or take the necessary steps that you have to take in order to stop doing it. It doesn't help. And the last thing I'm going to talk about in this video, which there's a ton more stuff, but in terms of what I have on my mind today, the last thing I'm going to talk about is, especially for people with MS, right? Avoid extreme cold and avoid extreme heat, which is something that I'm sure most of us already know, but sometimes we don't necessarily practice, because again, it ties back into wanting to look cool, and so you want to wear a particular outfit, and maybe it's not going to protect you from the cold as well as it should, but you're going to look nice, you have to take the steps to protect yourself. So you don't want to be exposed to extreme cold, extreme heat. Try to protect yourself. Wear appropriate clothing for whatever your circumstances. My daughter. Whatever your circumstances. So wear appropriate clothing. And I'm going to close with that. And again, I want to say thank you guys for watching. Thanks for the support. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. I'd really appreciate this. I'm trying to build this channel. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Thank you guys. Have a good week. Take care.